Action-filled evening, and it's really war. Operation Sindoor has escalated. We were talking about the phase 2 earlier this morning. Now we're almost into phase 3. It's Operation Sindoor 3.0. There have been many cities that have been targeted by Pakistan, and they have been responded to in the right way, and that is, all of those drone attacks have been neutralized. What we are now seeing is India, which has sent its drone right away to Pakistan, to 4 cities that are under attack, from Lahore to Rawalpindi, from Karachi to Islamabad outskirts. Everything that India has said so far is about retaliating and reacting in a calibrated manner proportional to what Pakistan is doing. And we're getting breaking news that is coming in at this moment. My colleagues joining me live from New Delhi, Rishabh Pant. Rishabh is joining me. Also joining me is Pradeep. Pradeep has information. We have information also coming in from the Ministry of External Affairs. Phones ringing all the time. Rishabh, External Affairs Minister. Well, Pak pilot in India's custody. That is the big breaking news that we are bringing. We've shot down 2 of their JF-17s, 1 F-16, and now we have a Pakistani pilot in our custody. What are the details that you can give us, Pradeep?
Yes, we got the information that one of the fighter aircraft has been shot down in the area near Jaisalmer. And what we have got to know that one of the pilots has been captured and he's in Indian custody. And right now he is being questioned and his identity is yet to be disclosed. But although there has been no official confirmation in this regard, but the sources there in the intelligence agencies have already confirmed that yes, the pilot who had ejected from that aircraft that was shot down by Indians has been captured and is being questioned. So that way it's going to be really big thing. It will be the same moment what actually they did with Abhinandan just a few years back when in Balakot the strike was carried out, and that time they have always been mocking and coming out to the mean that Indians should have a cup of tea. I think this is now the time for offering a cup of tea to their pilot who has been captured here in Jaisalmer. We saw that they had been trying to target many of our locations. None of their drones, neither of their missiles have succeeded to break that strong Suraksha Kavach by the air defense system. And we have seen that now India has launched a scathing attack either in Islamabad, they have targeted in Lahore, and we are also getting reports about in Sialkot. See, these were the areas where there had been terror then. Why from the Sialkot they started targeting Jammu? Because these were the places where the terror then had been completely demolished and decimated. We saw that this thing happening in Lahore. So they tried to target from the Lahore side also Jammu region.
Absolutely. More information coming in. Pradeep, interrupting you there. The pilot's identity has not been disclosed, but sources confirming that a Pakistan Air Force pilot has been captured by the Indian security forces after he ejected from his fighter jet flying over Jaisalmer. We know earlier this evening Jaisalmer was under attack. There were at least 8 missiles that were targeting, missile-stroke drones that were directed at Jaisalmer. We are now given to understand that the pilot of the Pakistani Air Force who ejected from that plane has now been taken into Indian custody. Also, big breaking news. This really means a big victory of sorts, an advantage of sorts for the Indian Defence Forces. Abhijit Iyer, Mitra, how do you see this? Reports coming in of a Pakistani Air Force pilot being taken into custody by our Indian Defence Forces while ejecting out of his plane in Jaisalmer. How do you look at this? 3 planes gone, 1 pilot in custody. Is Pakistan on its knees now?
You know, the one thing I've learned, Navika, is during the fog of war, let's not jump to conclusions. I want to see the images first before I confirm any plane downings. As for the pilot in custody, this is now physical custody. Obviously, we'll want to see him. We'll want to give him a cup of tea, hopefully lemon tea. I think Jaisalmer makes very good tea. So time to give him a cup of tea. He has to be repatriated under the Geneva Convention, I believe. We can't use him as a negotiating tool and things. That will be organized through third parties, most probably the Red Cross, within the next 2-3 days, as soon as the conditions are suitable for it. And that's how I expect this to proceed.
Well, yes, you're looking at it very coolly, you're looking at it very logically, but Shreya, joining me, Shreya, defining moment in this conflict so far, Pakistan, nothing has worked for them. India chose its targets on day one of Operation Sindoor, 9 targets, the terror camps were completely smashed. After which Pakistan did its other misadventure, targeting 15 Indian cities and installations. That was neutralized when India hit back and targeted all the installations, defense installation, and completely neutralized the air systems in Pakistan. And now Pakistan has tried to send its toy drones into India. None of them have been able to do anything that they were expected to do. Now three planes down and 1 pilot in Indian custody. What a defining moment this is. What more can you give us in terms of the details of this pilot's capture?
Absolutely, Navika. Those details still trickling in as far as the pilot capture is concerned. But of course, as we have been telling our viewers, this is the kind of befitting response that India's armed forces are giving to Pakistan with the kind of escalation that they've done. What I have with me here is a list of NOTAM which has been issued to 24 locations across India. There is Chandigarh, Srinagar, Amritsar, Ludhiana, Bhuntar, Patiala, Shimla, Kangra, Gaggal. All of these places in Punjab and Himachal Pradesh, Batinda, Jaisalmer, Jodhpur, border areas of course in Rajasthan, Bikaner, Halwara, Pathankot, Jammu, Leh, Mundra Port, of course we know that it's important, Jamnagar, Hirasar in Rajkot, Porbandar, Gujarat, all of these western border areas along the international border, Navika, have been issued a NOTAM, and this entire list goes on till Kandla and Bhuj in Gujarat. So extremely important notification there, NOTAM advisory being issued to these 24 locations across the country. Of course, more details still trickling in as far as the advisory and guidelines are concerned. We at times now are getting our viewers what the government is directing all of us to do, as well as the armed forces. So a high alert across the country, specifically the western border along the IB. Navika.
Absolutely, Shreya. A big breaking news coming in. NOTAM has been issued, but bigger than that is the capture of a pilot. We are getting some reports that this capture has taken place in Jaisalmer. We'll confirm that in just a bit to you, but this has been extremely big advantage that India has been able to get. Psychological wars, well, Pakistan completely on its knees. I also have Tejshri who's joining me live. I'll try and get the location where she is. Well, Jammu. Tejshri, in Jammu, what can you tell us? There were 8 drone attacks. We saw those Hamas-like lit up sky in Jammu. Blackout followed that. Are things back to normal after all these drone attacks have been neutralized?
Well, absolutely. Let me tell you that we are moving along the international border, and in fact now this entire area is blackout. Nowhere in fact the lights can be seen. Entire area is blackout, and what we are getting to know is that yes, 8 to 10 drones were tried to attack here in Jammu, but all drones were shot down. Not just that, but missiles were also intercepted by Indian air defense system, and in fact all the villages near the LOC all have been vacated. The villagers are also asked to be inside the bunkers. The electricity has been shut off. But if we talk about the current condition, then yes, India has strongly retaliated, intercepted all the missiles, and not just that, but also in fact drones have been shot down. So India has completely retaliated. None of the attack from the side of Pakistan was successful. So as of now, it seems like the situation seems to be, as of now stable here in Jammu, because Indian air defense system is continuously, intercepting the missile attacks that are being made from the side of Pakistan. We are moving along the international border. First we'll be in fact, moving towards the Aknoor and then the Jammu's main city. What we've also first got to know is that Pakistan also tried to attack the Jammu airport, but that attack was also completely thwarted, and then in fact India started attacking on Pakistan's Islamabad, on Pakistan's, Pakistan's Lahore, on Sialkot. So such kind of attacks were made. But yes, as of now the situation in Jammu remains to be stable, because Indian air defense system has been continuously retaliating. But yes, situation is tensed over here. There is a complete blackout in the area. The villagers have asked not to step out. The advisories have been issued, and also in fact there is no vehicular movement on this particular road. Also in fact we have been asked to shut down the lights as well, because as we move, this is the international border, and we also in fact when we were moving along this international border just a few minutes back, we also saw some kind of what we got to know is that there were drones in fact. So yes, attacks are the attempts from the side of Pakistan are still being made over here in Jammu, not just Jammu, but we also saw in Jaisalmer as well. But yes, we report from Jammu, and we are getting you all the ground updates, the live updates as to what is happening and how in fact India is strongly retaliating and giving a befitting reply to the cowardly attacks made by Pakistan.
Well, thanks Tejshri. We'll keep coming back to you. Going across to Pulkit Nagar, joining me from Jaisalmer. Pulkit, पायलट को कैप्चर किया गया है जैसलमेर, इसकी कोई पुष्टि है वहां आपके पास अपने सोर्सेज से? और ये भी कहा जा रहा है कि इस पायलट ने इजेक्ट किया था अपने प्लेन से ऐसे समय में जब शायद प्लेन पर कोई प्रहार हुआ।
देखिए, अभी सूत्र ये बता रहे हैं कि पोखरण की तरफ से इसने, ये लाठी गांव है जहां पे पायलट ने इजेक्ट करके अपने आप को नीचे गिराया है और वहीं से ही इसे पकड़ा गया, लेकिन आधिकारिक पुष्टि कोई नहीं है। सिर्फ जो सूत्र बता रहे हैं पुलिस, लोकल पुलिस के, या फिर उनसे जो बातचीत हो पा रही है, और ये पूरा जो ऑपरेशन है कहीं ना कहीं सेना की देखरेख में था। दूसरी सबसे बड़ी बात ये कि जो जैसलमेर के ऊपर थोड़ी देर पहले तक ड्रोन मिसाइलें आ रही थी वो रुकी हैं, और ये इसी खबर के बाद में रुकी हैं जब ये खबर सामने आई कि एक पायलट को पकड़ा गया है पोखरण की तरफ से। अभी जो सबसे बड़ी बात ये आ रही है कि बॉर्डर पर भी पूरी तरीके से पाकिस्तान की तरफ से शांति एकदम है, जो जैसलमेर से लगते हुए बॉर्डर है। जब ड्रोन मिसाइल अटैक हो रहे थे उस समय पाकिस्तान हिमाकत कर रहा था, ये बॉर्डर की तरफ हलचल कर रहा था, लेकिन जिस तरीके से उसे जवाब दिया गया है उसके बाद में अभी उसकी बॉर्डर पर शांति है, ड्रोन मिसाइल आनी बंद हुई है और एक उसका पायलट पकड़ा गया है जैसलमेर में। तो कुल मिलाकर अगर समझा जाए तो जैसलमेर की तरफ से पाकिस्तान को मुंह की खानी पड़ी है और उसे करारा जवाब हमारी सेनाओं द्वारा मिला है। और कोई भी ड्रोन मिसाइल जो वो चाहता था कि सेना के बेस पर या फिर एयरफोर्स की तरफ या कहीं शहर में गिर जाए, वो ऐसा नहीं हुआ। सारी की सारी उसकी मिसाइलें, ड्रोन मिसाइलें खत्म कर दी गई आसमान के अंदर ही। जी
बिल्कुल पुलकित, इस वक्त बड़ी खबर आ रही है कि सारे ड्रोन अटैक्स न्यूट्रलाइज हुए हैं, and at this moment I can also confirm there have been no casualties reported in India. Keeping our fingers crossed, may we have the blessings of the superpowers up there, but our defense forces doing a fantastic job. We've downed 2 planes, and joining me in the studio Major General Bishambar Dayal. I want to ask you, so far the information that we are getting, Jaisalmer, Rajasthan border is where the activity is, but not just that all the drone attacks or missile attacks, call it what you will, have been neutralized. The fact is we've also got one pilot of the Pakistan Air Force in custody. Do you think this is a turning point in this conflict so far?
Of course, I mean, when we have the pilot in our custody, it's not only, I mean, it's a turning point, and it is a point which you can say that, which is a remarkable point which can bring tomorrow some reconciliation on part of Pakistan, because till now they've thought it is impunity. Let me just give you the little this thing that, look, he started with it today from Jammu, and he has gone down south. So practically the entire western border of India is activated. He has actually committed war. He has actually declared war because he has crossed the international boundary. He has crossed the international boundary with the intent of striking at our military capabilities, military infrastructure, at our civilian infrastructure. So as far as Pakistan is concerned, he has committed an act of war itself. Indian air defense, as we have been talking about, is actually very, very strong. It has got three-tiered layers, and it is now coming out very clear because he's not succeeding with his drones, because we have local air defense system which can bring down drones. We have got some guns, we have got L-70, we have got those guns which can take the drone attacks. Then he's tried with missiles. Missiles have been neutralized by our air defense system, again by our missiles. And now what we are hearing is that one F-16 and two J-17, 3 aircrafts have crashed. 3 aircrafts have been brought down by the Indian air defense. So somewhere the Akash and S-400 have also come into play. So Indian at present, we must know that all these are defensive action by us, and he is on the offensive. So if we want to really take back initiative from him, this is the turning point. We have a pilot in our custody. We have got, if pilot has dropped down in Lathi, that means the remnants of the aircraft are also in the Indian territory, which will be by morning, which will be known where in Pokhran, because that's a deserted area. So we have got his aircraft fallen in our territory, pilot captured. Now is the time to strike him with offensive. No more defensive, offensive. I mean, and the offensive should be so severe, so strong, that our offensive should go to his military assets in Lahore, in Sargodha, in Rawalpindi, in Bahawalpur, in Rahim Yar Khan, all along in Sialkot, I mean all along the border. And also I'd like to make a mention here that LC has been very, very active. We have lost some civilians there. We've lost some women and children. So LC Pay also, we need to act very strongly against his artillery, against his rocket systems. So this is the situation at now, that we are at war with a rogue state. We are at war with the state. I don't think there could have been a worse, neighbor than Pakistan.
Absolutely, and we've known that. We've known that for the last 75 years, that this is certainly the worst neighborhood that we could have got. But the fact of the matter is also some information for our viewers this evening. Anybody traveling needs to go to airports on time, because there is a longer check-in time. Akasa Airlines, Air India, all airlines putting out this advisory that please reach airports 3 hours ahead of time to account for all the checks that are happening at these airports. But going back to what's happening on the ground, apart from the travel advisory that's been issued, I can show you the new video that's come in from Pathankot. This Pathankot video shows you a drone attack that was desperately tried by Pakistan. Of course, our air defense systems have completely neutralized this. There are a few red lights that are visible that show you the drones and the ADS, the air defense systems. They're neutralizing these drone attacks on Pathankot bases that we have. We are also making it very clear, we are showing you only deferred visuals. We do not want to compromise the safety as well as the military military installations and the details. We are only showing you deferred visuals over here. Times Now committed to the safety of our military installations, our Air Force installations, our braves who are guarding our borders and our cities and their installations. We will not compromise on the security of the country. So just stay on with us to look at information that is cross-checked, that is absolutely confirmed. Do not fall prey to any rumors that are going. Some rumors stated that there was a suicide bomb attack. Well, we completely discard and disregard these kind of rumors that have been spread by people on social media. Do not be misled by these information that come from social media. Please join us here on Times Now, a national television channel that keeps India first and will give you only verified information. And Pathankot, all safe. There have been no attempts, no rumors should be floated. But the good news that I can share with you, not only has India now responded to the Pakistani attack by going into 4 of the locations in Pakistan, in Sialkot, in Rawalpindi, in Karachi, as well as in Lahore. More still to come. One Pakistani Air Force pilot in India's custody. This is where Pakistan, if it hasn't got the message, needs to get the message. The phone lines working very, very fast. And Rishabh joining me right now. Rishabh, many phone calls. External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar has been speaking to his counterparts in Italy, in the United States. What can you give us?
Well, Navika, if we talk about Indian External Affairs Ministry, they are actually burning the midnight oil. I was just speaking to one of a senior MA official, and he says that I kept my phone away for 5 minutes. I have 281 messages already and certain missed calls as well. If it comes to External Affairs Minister, his phone has been buzzing since last 2 days, since Operation Sindoor has taken place. He has spoken to almost every UNSC member except Pakistan. He has spoken to a number of Gulf countries, a number of Islamic OIC countries, the Organization of Islamic countries, as well as be it United States, be it Europe, be it any continent you name. There is one phone call from there, even including Latin America. India has ensured here, Navika, that come what may, the global pressure should not be on India to de-escalate or let go of the situation easily. That is something India has very successfully managed to get till now as well. If we see the handout that has come in from Washington about Marco Rubio, Secretary of State's call with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar or Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, it is very clear while US supports India's war against terrorism, in the handout for Pakistan, it categorically says Pakistan should de-escalate immediately. Very clearly, the onus to de-escalate now.
Message has gone from the United States, but action still awaited from Pakistan on that. But I can confirm to you yet another city in, I don't know if it's really a city or anything exists there anymore, but sirens in Muzaffarabad, another target that India has chosen at this moment. Sleepless night, Pakistan experiencing some explosions which have been heard in Muzaffarabad. Is Muzaffarabad next? Importance of Muzaffarabad, Sialkot, Lahore, Rawalpindi. Brahmachalani, it's over to you to give us the importance of the places that have been on target this evening after the other round, the next round of misadventures by Pakistan, neutralized of course by our defense services.
It is clear now that Operation Sindoor represents a paradigm shift in India's strategic posture toward Pakistan. I don't think the Pakistani military generals anticipated such a robust Indian military response. They thought that, going by their experience, when India carried out this Balakot airstrike in 2019, and Pakistan military responded with a dramatic escalation. They sent a wave of warplanes into India's J&K, and they even bombed an Indian military base. But India did not respond to their response. So they did not anticipate that this time there would be such a robust, broad response by India. They have been taken completely unawares by this kind of escalation. It's clear that while India's language has been measured, its actions are quite proactive and punitive. In other words, it appears that India is willing to take Operation Sindoor to its logical conclusion. That's the only way you can deter Pakistan from continuing with its proxy war by terrorism. Also, it's important to note that compared to previous confrontations with Pakistan or with China, India's public diplomacy and its effort to counter disinformation, both these look much better. The way the Defense Ministry has been issuing statements very quickly, for example, the statement was issued an hour ago by the Defense Ministry, shows the new importance India is attaching to public diplomacy. And also this effort by the Indian government to counter disinformation, largely coming from Pakistani elements. That again is a great improvement on previous Indian record. And lastly, these notams that have been issued, they seek to protect India's vital economic infrastructure. For example, the notam over Jamnagar. Jamnagar is home to the world's largest oil refinery. The Reliance refinery in Jamnagar has a capacity to refine 1.4 million barrels of oil per day, and it supplies refined oil to Europe, to Britain, to a number of other foreign destinations. And protecting such vital infrastructure is also clearly one of India's key concerns today.
Absolutely. We now have the statement that was given to Pakistan. Spokesperson Tammy Bruce said that Secretary Marco Rubio spoke with Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif. The Secretary emphasized the need for immediate de-escalation. He expressed US support for direct dialogue between India and Pakistan and encouraged continued efforts to improve communications. The Secretary expressed sorrow for the reported loss of civilian lives in the current conflict. He reiterated his calls for Pakistan to take concrete steps to end any support for terrorist groups. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, do you think a stern enough statement by the United States to Pakistan, will it have any impact?
So, the thing, Navika, is Hussein Haqqani writes about this in his book. Stern statements aren't, they're delivered in a very civilized way. And the Pakistanis don't get that. They expect stern statements to be delivered, the way a mother does to her son who's just crashed the car. That is not the way diplomatic talks are held. So every time a stern statement is delivered, they just think nothing has happened and they think they've acquitted themselves very well. There are several instances, where extremely serious messages were conveyed. It turned out they were tone deaf, they didn't get it. I don't think the Pakistanis have got it. What is actually going to have an effect on them is serious attrition on their forces. Remember, they can't continue this, even at this level, sort of lower intensity war. They can't continue it for more than 7 to 10 days, Navika. I think that will be a much sterner statement than anything civilized diplomacy can yield.
Absolutely. Also joining me this evening, Squadron Leader Varlin Panwar, defense expert. And my question to you, Squadron Leader Panwar, is we've taken a Pakistani Air Force pilot into custody. What happens from here on? We understand all the conventions that exist, but does this put pressure on Pakistan? What will be done with the pilot? Does it become a negotiation chip? How does it work?
Good evening, Navika. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. This has been a very eventful evening for all of us. Luckily, everything is going in our favor, other than the unrest that it has caused in our nation. Touch wood. And yes, coming back to the question, yes, this type of incident, whenever this happens, this directly affects the morale of the nation. So as it is, whatever we are doing has already, taken their spirit to fight. Everything has gone miserably down. But this type of action, where we have caught one of their pilot flying in our territory, caught by Indian army soldiers, this proves it that they were inside our territory, number one. So this is a total breakout of war from their side. They cannot go back and say that we have not done anything. This is a proof with us. Also, it affects, of course, political negotiation and everything will work. We will have all type of political conversation that we are supposed to have. India has never been someone who would do something wrong with prisoners of war. But this time I'm sure this is a little different because this is new India. I won't say this is the same India that we have been seeing from past 3 or 4 decades.
Absolutely, this is a new India, the paradigm shift that Brahma Chelani was talking about. Absolutely here. Also joining me, Lieutenant General Asit Mistry. How do you look at this? And before I come to you, there are visuals that are coming from Kotli, and let me just play out those visuals once again. Another place, another attack.
ये फायरिंग की आवाजें आ रही हैं पूरे कोटली में. गोले पड़ना शुरू हो गए गाइस. ये फायरिंग की आवाजें आ रही हैं पूरे कोटली में. गोले पड़ना शुरू हो गए गाइस.
Bhai, that is what is being heard in the background. Major General Bishambar Dayal, you want to explain to us what those sounds are?
Yeah, these are, artillery shells or rockets, across the front, there are 3 types of things which he's firing. I mean, he's firing through his, drones. He's using his air-to-ground missiles or missiles per se, and also simultaneously using his rocket forces from the depth. This is what his pattern of attack has been over the last 2 days. Now, you were asking a very pertinent question, which I fully, endorse that look, Pakistan does not understand the language that they've lost one pilot, the pilot is in our custody. They're not bothered about him. You can kill him.
They've never taken bodies
They've never
back.
taken. So, they only understand when there is a punitive action against his forces, when we deplete his military power, when we damage his capability to wage a war, when his armed forces are hit hard, and when there is a dissension. See, in 1971, how Yahya Khan had to run away. He had to leave the power to he was the dictator and the president. He had to leave the power to civilians, to Bhutto. So, because there was an internal dissension because of war, because military lost, military power lost, military power loses, there's a conflict between the senior officers of the military, and then they pass it to to the political leadership. Pakistan at present is in the similar state. We need to hit him hard. He has already declared war. We are rebuting him, or we are doing a fantastic job. I mean, there's hats off to our air defense, hats off to the way we have prepared our air defense, and they are giving complete protection to our citizens. And be rest assured, nothing will happen even in the border towns. So that's kudos. But what we need to do is, we need to strike hard at his military assets. We need to strike in a manner that his ground forces are forced to mobilize and come for a battle. When that happens, then Pakistan will come to and when we give him a nice thrashing means we give him a depletion of his mechanized forces. Some of the places which are there on the IB, sensitive places for him, some of the, waterworks and headworks which are there very close to proximity of the border. When we do all that, that is the time there will be an opportunity to bring this mad journal to some sort of his knees, and his polity will come to negotiating table on our terms and conditions, and that should be our end state, looking in a manner that we once for all finish the terrorism issue from Jammu and Kashmir, and we go for POK on the negotiating table. He withdraws from all the claims that he has been making since 47, because these are false claims. So this is we are at a very critical moment. He is the weakest ever been in history. Pakistan has never been so weak in its entire history. International community has never been so disorganized. There is no UN properly. It is a disorganized disorder of the international community. There is no statesman in any country. Everybody in President Trump is trying to run America.
Out for themselves, and that's the manner in which the world is going.
His own country. So we are very well placed today. We have a strong leadership. We have a very stable government. We have very patriotic and passionate people, the whole nation. We have got tremendous human resources. Our armed forces are professional. This is the time to strike, because he has bleeded us for last 35 years and 70 years kept us disturbed. So we cannot pass it to the next.
Well, opportune moment and an opportune response being given. But Lieutenant General Asit Mistry, the fact that we are looking at this point in time is so many drones. Between last night and tonight, there have been so many drone attacks, so many missile attacks. I mean, it's almost as if it's Diwali in the skies, from Jaisalmer right up to Jammu. We've seen Pathankot, Ludhiana, Jalandhar, every place that we are hearing this. The question I have is, what kind of drones are these? What kind of equipment is this? I mean, I don't want to say it too soon, but not one of them is reaching the target. Is this the toy industry of China that operates out of Pakistan? I think you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, good evening, Navika. Before I get into your specific question, I just want to elaborate a little bit of what Mr. Brahmachalani said, that there is a paradigm shift in our whole approach to Pakistan and handling the situation. So we have a clear aim, we have a clear strategy, and we have the requisite political will to see this through. If you see the unfolding of events right from 22nd April and the Prime Minister's address thereafter to a public rally and the events that have happened thereafter. So it's a very calculated, cold, rational kind of approach without getting into jingles. And we've been doing what we want to do since yesterday morning. What is Pakistan trying to do? They have no clear strategy, they have no clear aim. They're only trying to, do something. They have this term called notion of victory. This whole phrase by itself sounds very hollow. Either you have victory or you don't have victory. What is this notion of victory? But this is what they have been preaching for last about 15, 20 years. That you create a victory out of fiction. And this is what they've been trying to do. And that is why they've been trying to fire hundreds of drones and missiles to try and somehow overwhelm your air defense system. And hopefully penetrate it somewhere so that you can cause some damage and they can show some pictures on the Pakistani TV and claim some credit. Because right now they have nothing to show to their people of having achieved anything. Now, the quality of drones, I think they're quite self-explanatory. These are all very, very low caliber, low weight, low capability kind of drones, and therefore we've been able to degrade them and destroy them with a combination of both the soft kill and the hard kill approach, and therefore they have caused hardly any damage. I believe one of the drones has actually landed on the airfield at Jammu and has caused no significant damage at all. So therefore they have very, very little potential. Over to you.
Well, absolutely. But going back to the information that is just coming in, Jalandhar also saw several drones coming their way. Each one of these are neutralized, and they've reported total normalcy at the moment. Shelling and firing in Kotli can be confirmed at this moment. I can also confirm to you at this point that there are hectic parleys that are going on. Home Minister Amit Shah is in constant touch with Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor. We've also heard now more shelling across the border along the LOC in Tangdar, Uri and Karna. Ceasefire violations happening at the drop of a hat. And what we are also being given to understand at this point is the Prime Minister is being briefed by the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval on a real-time basis. There is a situation room in which the senior members of our defense forces are also together. So every eye on the developments, every action being taken in real time, and Pakistan doesn't know what it has done. Provocation of this kind will surely be met with a firm hand, and that's what India has shown. Where do we go from here, Abhijit Iyer? What are you looking at in the information that's coming from, the chatter that is coming across from people in Pakistan and, of course, our global community?
So the general thing I'm getting from Pakistan is a whole load of confusion, sprinkled with fear. And the confusion is because that the playbook is no longer being followed. Their biggest curiosity is that, the word I've heard used the most often is, have you people gone mad? And I'm like, why are you saying we've gone mad? It's because we're not following the textbook. We're behaving exactly like you used to 3, 4, 5, 6 years back. Right? They don't get it. They think there's some kind of government dysfunction happening, but it's also extraordinary fear. They genuinely think we're going to take out some nukes and shove them at Karachi or Lahore or something like that, because they genuinely believe we've gone mad. I think that's a very good thing. I don't know about you, but I'm relishing that, because all I used to get in the last 15-20 years was a whole load of condescension. The fact that we would have to be the ones making the concessions, the fact that they always had escalation dominance, that surety is gone. For the first time, Navika, I am hearing fear in their voices. I'm hearing confusion, I'm hearing fear. There is none of that cockiness, there's a complete lack of confidence.
Complete lack of confidence, and I'm not surprised with their drones going kaput, literally falling from the skies, almost as if what can I say? वो बरसात में पटाखे.
Actually, these are not only Chinese; these are also some Turkish drones. He's taken drones from Turkey as well as China. Firstly, Pakistan is very poor operator.
You keep calling him he. Who's this he that you're referring to?
I refer to Munir. I don't want to call him Mullah here and all those things. This is not my language. I'm an army officer.
So nobody here is talking about the Pakistani political establishment. They don't matter.
They don't matter.
That is official.
Because he is the de facto dictator. And he will dictate till they do not get into a situation where the state is at stake. The Pakistani state is at stake. When Pakistani state will be at stake, he will suddenly bring that gentleman called Sharif. His name is Sharif. He's Sharif aadmi hai, bichara. Wo chupcha baitha hua hai. He will bring him to the fore, send him here with a begging ball, and he will come to our polity to say, please pardon us. We are willing to do anything that you want. We should not show. See, after 1971 war, Navika, you've been doing journalism for so long.
But not since 1971. No, let me put that disclaimer.
You're doing in the contemporary period. No, 20 years you've been here at the main war. So what I'm saying is, after 1971, he has never come to a negotiating table without terms. When Musharraf came here, he came here more to show what we were more discussing, his body language, what he was wearing, what he was talking, and all that play. He did not come on our terms, and he went back. But if you have to find a way out, if you have to get your end state clear, then you got to get him to his knees. And that is the only way: is punish, and completely deplete his potential to wage a war. His armed forces have to be, his military power has to be completely diminished. That is the only way. And
and we are on that part. We are absolutely
by punishing him more and more every night.
We are absolutely on that part. We are not losing sight of what our goal is. But Swati Joshi, my colleague, joins me. And Swati, you have the Thursday misadventure. Where all did Pakistan send their very bad set of missiles and drones? Please take our viewers through.
We've been punishing Pakistan since morning, and that punishment continues. Here are the attempts made by Pakistan that have been thwarted, that have been neutralized. Let's begin from the top, from Jammu Kashmir, where drone attack was reported from in Akhnur near Jammu University. 2 Pak drones were shot down. In Jammu, the drone attack was reported in Pathankot as well. And all of these attacks have been intercepted, neutralized and thwarted. Then you had Pak drones that were intercepted in Udhampur in Jammu and Kashmir. Pathankot airbase as well, drone attack foiled. In Chandigarh, let's come to Punjab now. In Chandigarh, air raid sirens were sounded. In Sri Ganganagar, a red alert issued. In Rajasthan, let's come to Rajasthan now, where in Falodi, drone attack reported. In Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, Pak drones were intercepted. In Badmer, drone attack reported. In Kutch in Gujarat, 3 Pak drones shot down. So this is how the misadventure of Pakistan is being thwarted and punished as well.
Well, we are hearing new advisories coming in New Delhi as well. India Gate has been vacated. The India Gate has been completely evacuated, and no one is allowed to stop or remain in the vicinity of India Gate. That is the latest information that we are getting. That place is being evacuated. Traffic at this time visible in New Delhi is India Gate. What we are also... Well, India Gate is being evacuated at this point in time. Clearly, this is also going out to all Indian citizens. Please be aware of your surroundings, sleeper cells. Anybody who looks suspicious, who's trying to garner information, do not give out information to all of us. My tribe, no direct information to go in real time, especially if it relates to military movements. That is a discipline we must adhere to. That is the dharma that we need to follow. We hear at times now, keep that dharma above everything else. But I'm also hearing reports that Pakistani leaders are now taking private planes out of Pakistan. There are reports that some have flown to Dubai, some to Bahrain. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, can you confirm any of those developments? There is chatter. Let me tell you, this is not confirmed. There is chatter, but would it be plausible that this could be true, Abhijit?
So I've been checking flight radar and all these things. Now, Navika, charter flights have to put on their transponders and things like that. It is only military flights that are given special dispensation. So, no, it is simply not true. We've also been tracking, satellite as best as we can at night. It's tough to task a satellite with these things. We're not tasking it. We're looking at oblique imagery. It is simply not true. These are some, attention crazy people on Twitter who have decided to tweet all this nonsense. It's just complete rubbish. The second thing, however, which I can confirm is true, is if you actually go to Google Tickets and try to book a ticket from Lahore or Karachi to Dubai or London, it is exponentially more expensive, almost a 5:1. Compared to tickets from London to Karachi, Lahore, or from Dubai to Karachi, Lahore. That tells you something. Economics doesn't lie. This is how the laws of demand and supply function. People are trying to get out of Pakistan. People don't want to get into Pakistan. The second thing that I've seen in the economic intelligence report is not The Economist, please. I don't take The Economist seriously. I'm talking about the economic intelligence reports, is that their remittances have dropped very sharply. Overseas Pakistanis are not sending money back right now because they're very uncertain about what's going to happen back home clearly. That's my analysis of it. I mean, that may not be the case, but that's the most likely explanation at the moment.
Well, there's more information. There is a second F-16 that has been shot. This is, as of now, awaiting official confirmation, but the second F-16 may have been targeted and shot down by India. That's the big breaking news that we are bringing in at this moment. We also can tell you that the pilot who was captured was from the second F-16 that has been shot. The pilot ejected, was taken hostage by the BSF. The F-16, what we are hearing, has been now shot down. It's the second F-16. 2 JF-17s already down. Well, Pakistan having a bad day there. None of its drones working, none of its air defense systems working, none of their radars now possibly available to them because they were destroyed earlier today by India, especially at the Lahore base. And now a second F-16 falling from the skies. Bad time, but we have some visuals coming in.
Pakistan economically, as it is, India's air power is making things very hot for Pakistan. The way India's air defense systems have managed to counter Pakistani missiles and drones, and in reprisal, India has unleashed attacks across the length and breadth of Pakistan, has taken Pakistani policymakers by big surprise. But this is a larger fight against terror. We should not forget that India is not the only country facing Pakistani terrorism. Pakistan's other neighbors too, including the Taliban-ruled Afghanistan and Iran, whose foreign minister was in New Delhi, they also accuse Pakistan of sponsoring cross-border terrorism. And we should not forget that the footprints of many terrorist attacks in the West have been traced to Pakistan. After all, where was Osama bin Laden found? Living in the shadow of the Pakistan Military Academy. Many top international terrorists like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Abu Zubaydah, they were all found in Pakistan. And I think what India is doing through Operation Sindoor is doing the world a favor, by seeking to end Pakistan's sponsorship of terrorism. This is going to be a long fight, by the way. Navika is not going to end anytime soon. It will require perseverance. It will require political will on India's part. So far, Pakistan, despite being the smaller and weaker country, it had been able to bleed India through stronger political will. We were lacking in strong political will. Today, the outcome of Operation Sindoor will be determined largely by this battle of rival political wills. If we stay our course, if we are willing to sustain Operation Sindoor to its logical conclusion, then we will be able to deter Pakistan from continuing its proxy war by terrorism. But if we decide to suspend this Operation Sindoor without achieving our political and military objectives, then I'm afraid we will again face a major Pakistani terrorist attack before long.
Absolutely, Brahma Chilani, but there is a lot of speculation that is going on, and one speculation that is going on is whether there is a coup against the coup master, the army chief Asim Munir. Some reports are suggesting, I don't know if this is confirmed, but some reports suggesting that General Shahir Shamshad Mirza could be the man taking over from Asim Munir, because Asim Munir, for his personal gains, has brought the country down. These are reports. I completely underline the fact these are unconfirmed reports that we are hearing. That is the speculation that is going on. But Asim Munir probably facing a coup. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, are you hearing anything of that? Because there is chatter on the social media, some Pakistani handles also speculating to that extent about a coup against Asim Munir himself. Pakistan literally in disarray.
Continent period. It's always a chief of army staff. There's very seldom been a coup. What I do know is there was a lot of discontent in the corps commanders, all 11 corps commanders, against Asim Munir because he did not consult them when he ordered the Pahalgam attack. So there has been a lot of discontent. What I can tell you is a lot of YouTubers, tweeters and things like that have been saying nasty, Pakistani ones have been saying nasty things about him, which they wouldn't have dared said had they not, had some kind of protection at the top. That said, in my experience, most Pakistani generals suck it up and follow orders, no matter how upset they are. A coup is not the way they remove their chief. Usually he's either allowed to, pasture a bit and removed silently, like Musharraf was, or he goes out in disgrace like Ayub Khan did, or, they put, bombs in mango crates and blow them up like they did with General Ziaul Haq. I'm the precedent of a coup, setting the precedent.
Well, call it a coup, call it a fact that he may be removed, call it a replacement, call it what you will, but at the moment, those are the reports. I'm once again absolutely emphasizing on the fact that these are unconfirmed reports, but there is speculation that Asim Munir, who to save himself, has undertaken a misadventure which has gone wrong from day one, from minute one for him, and this misadventure has costed Pakistan not just its self-respect but a lot of damage in terms of its military equipment. Pakistan's not a rich country. It's been carrying a begging bowl in its hand over the last over the last several years, and today if Asim Munir would be removed, I'm sure not many people would shed a tear in Pakistan. But do you think this is possible, Brahma Chelani? Do you think, because speculation is so wild right now that it's difficult not to look at it. General Dayal.
There cannot be such a wild social media rumor or social media this thing until there is something. There must have been some differences must have come up during the meetings which have been held in Pakistan, first between the political leadership and the military leadership, and then within the military leadership on the entire way the entire operation has been handled. I mean, the way they backed out of the after doing what they did on 22nd of April. So the way he has been under pressure within that, so something from there is coming out too, and then now it's coming to social media. So there is some discomfort, discord in Pak military leadership, and also there must be some backing. You see, a few days back, the ISI chief was also made the National Security Advisor. So probably everybody said that he's Munir's man, I think somewhere the political leadership was also guarding itself against all this. So this could be, there's a lot of merit in what this is going on. There could be a lot of merit in what this social media thing is.
It could be fake. Some people are calling it fake. Some people are saying there is speculation.
There must be something
I'm sure even if Asim Munir were to go, nobody is going to shed a tear. But going across to Tejashri, where at Jammu airport, security has been beefed up, and Tejashri there with the visuals of what Tejashri, NSG commandos in action protecting Jammu airport, clearly on guard to take care of any further misadventures by Pakistan. Is there any indication that there could be a repetition, or is everything back to normal with heightened security?
Well, absolutely. Let me tell you that, we are reporting just near from Jammu airport, and definitely the NSG has been deployed, and not just that, but entire area has been put on high alert. Remember that at first Pakistan was only targeting, his main target was Jammu airport, and the first information that we got was that the drones were seen just here nearby the Jammu airport, but the attack was thwarted. That was a planned and cowardly attack by Pakistan. But all the drones, in fact, the number of drones that we are getting to know is between 10 to 12 drones that was spotted over here near the Jammu airport. That is also the airbase, and in fact all these drones were shot down. Not just that, but the missiles were also intercepted. But yes, as of now the security here near the Jammu airport is completely on high alert. The movement is completely stopped near this entire area, and not just that, but also NSG has been deployed. Further, we are awaiting for the further details so as to what happens next. But yes, as of now the entire city is on alert, and yes, blackout is there in this entire area as well. So we are also in fact not allowed to switch on the lights of our camera. So we are reporting in a very responsible way. We are not close to the we are not very close to the airport. We are a bit away from the airport, but giving all the updates so as to what had happened over here. Villagers and the residents of this particular area also informed that they heard loud sounds just a couple of hours back. There was some kind of sounds that they heard, and then they went to their bunkers, and then the area was completely vacated, and then they heard some kind of explosion over there. So explosion certainly must be the kind of retaliation that India gave, the befitting reply that India gave to the cowardly attack of the Pakistan, and all the missiles that Pakistan was attempting to attack over here at the Jammu airport. Those entire attacks were thwarted. These are the latest information and the updates that we're picking up right now from Jammu.
All the misadventures thwarted.